I'm redoing the video I did late last night, highlighting just the sheer massive scale, the massive quantity of donations that Jesuit schools have received from quote unquote philanthropy. Most of the donations are from 2010. And just to show you here, um, if you go to my bookmarks, this is all donations to Jesuit colleges. All this whole page of bookmarks here, all the way up. I literally found like 25 to 30 news articles about millions going to Jesuit schools in the post 2010. So I'm going to go into some of that here. But just to kick off this video, I found this article, and I subscribed to the New York Slimes because I saw Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation donating to the Jesuit Cristo Rey high schools in like the description. And this is what this article is. This is from the New York Times in 2003, and this is interesting because Bill Gates actually. I have an article here on my Jesuit World Order blog. Bill Gates, in the article in the Christian Post, November 14th, 2014, it was titled "Bill Gates Reveals Family Goes to Catholic Church. It Makes Sense to Believe in God." See, Bill Gates, the richest man in the world. Now it's Jeff Bezos at Amazon. I'm going to show you this video that Amazon is donating millions to Jesuit Seattle University and Catholic relief services and Catholic charities. So here, Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, revealed in a recent interview that his family goes to Catholic Church and that religious morality implies a lot of his charity work. This is a quote from Bill Gates. "The moral systems of religion, I think, are super important. We've raised our kids in a religious way. They've gone to the Catholic Church that Melinda goes to, and Bill's wife, Melinda, is a devout Catholic. So Bill's kids, they've gone to the Catholic Church that Melinda goes to, and I participate in. Bill Gates participates in Melinda Gates' Catholic Church. I've been very lucky, therefore I owe it to try to reduce the inequity in the world, and that's a kind of religious belief. I mean, it's at least a moral belief." And Gates said that in Rolling Stone magazine. But as to kick off some of the donations, I just want to go through some of this New York Times article. I'm going to put this on archive.org so you guys can read this. But this is it was by Diana Jean Skemo, May 21st, 2003, titled "Charities Pledge $19 million to Jesuit Model Schools." Impressed by the success shown by a network of 4 Jesuit high schools in working with urban teenagers, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and another major charity pledged $19 million today to bolster the schools and export the model to 12 additional cities. So the Gates Foundation wants to build 12 additional Jesuit Cristo Rey schools. And these Jesuit Cristo Rey schools began being built in 1994. There's quite a few of them now. But quoting from the Times, the Cristo Rey schools, as they are known, began in 1994 and now include schools in Portland, Oregon, Austin, Texas, Los Angeles, California, and Chicago, Illinois. The new money is intended to expand the program to New York City, Cleveland, Denver, Tucson, Arizona, the Boston area, and elsewhere. In a telephone news conference announcing the donations, Tom Vander Ark, executive director for the Gates Foundation, praised Jesuit Cristo Rey schools for reversing the trend toward shuttering Catholic schools in the inner city. A lot of these Cristo Rey schools are going like right downtown. Where is the quote here? You can read this on the screen that I'm scrolling down. I'm going to link this article. So the Gates Foundation, which has spent almost $500 million on educational projects by Mr. Vander Ark's account, is putting nearly $10 million into the Jesuit Cristo Rey schools. The rest of the money is coming from the Casson Educational Initiative, a private group and longtime supporter of the Cristo Rey model. So it's interesting that the Gates Foundation gave $10 million of the $19 million to the Cristo Rey Jesuit schools in 2003. And I just think that's very interesting. And so technically, the 2 richest guys in the world, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, both donate millions and millions of dollars to the Catholic Church. And I'll show you the Bezos donation. This was post 2010. This was in my sent. Give me a second here. I sent the Cerrucci team this info last night. This is in May 2019. Jesuit Seattle University got 2 separate $3 million donations from Microsoft, that's Bill Gates' company, and Amazon, from Jeff Bezos' company. But I'll show you the Amazon link here. But this is both from recent in 2019. This is May 13th, 2019. A $3 million gift to expand STEM talent. Amazon's donation to Jesuit Seattle University expands opportunities for women and underrepresented minorities in computer science. So your Jesuit Seattle University announced today that Amazon made a $3 million gift to the new Center of Science and Innovation. Speaking at the conference was Jesuit Seattle University professor Roshanak Rochendell, and representing Amazon was Andy Chassie. Andy Chassie is the Chief Executive Officer of Amazon Web Services. Quote from Andy Chassie: "We are proud to help extend Jesuit Seattle University's capabilities. I'm sure you are, in terms of the number of quality students it educates, especially women and underrepresented minorities. It's important for Amazon's future as well, allowing us to hire strong candidates." Oh, Amazon wants to hire candidates from the Jesuit schools. You better believe they do. It's just like all the big, massive multinationals, like Raytheon, for instance, and bring diverse perspectives to what we're creating. If we don't have employees that represent the type of people for whom we're building, we're not going to have the right perspective. End quote. So here's the photo here at Jesuit Seattle University, May 21st, 2019. On the right is Roshanak Rochendell, Amazon scholar, PhD, professor of computer science at Jesuit Seattle University. And here's Andy Jassy, CEO of Amazon Web Services. So Roshanak Rochendell says it is the $3 million donation from Amazon to Jesuit Seattle University. It is also a bridge between the tech industry and academia. It helps us ensure we remain relevant as an institution, providing a strong technical foundation to our students, in addition to the ethical and moral values stemming from our Jesuit tradition. End quote. This is really interesting because, the Amazon actually got into a $600 million deal with the CIA in 2013. And, and I'll show you the quote, E. Howard Hunt, the famous, infamous 20th century CIA agent, said that we've always admired the Jesuits, and the Jesuits form the greatest intelligence service in the world and always have. So I just think it's interesting. So after the Catholic, and the Catholic Herald, the English Catholic Herald, I have it on my blog in 2016, ran an article titled "Why Do Catholics Thrive in the CIA?" So it's interesting that after Amazon gets into a $600 million deal making a computing cloud for the CIA, and I bet Amazon is doing a lot of the Jesuit Chinese social credit score research, and Amazon will be working with the Jesuit Department of Homeland Security and issuing, quote, threat assessments with their social credit score that they're developing with the CIA. But I think so. Look at this. So the CIA gets into a $600 million deal with Amazon, and then the cash starts rolling out to the Jesuit colleges. Is that a coincidence? Let's see what CIA agent E. Howard Hunt said about the Jesuits. And I have this documentary on my channel. It's called "A Coup Made in America." It was on the 1998. It was 1998 show on the Canadian television series Turning Points of History. So the infamous CIA agent E. Howard Hunt was speaking on his role in the coup d'etat in Guatemala in 1954, which took out Jacobo Arbenz. This is what the CIA agent E. Howard Hunt said. "We had gotten the okay from Cardinal Spellman to go ahead with this." You see, isn't that odd that a Catholic priest is instructing the CIA? Isn't it weird that the Archbishop of New York is the mission leader for the CIA? But continuing, and Hunt says, "And I wouldn't presume to trace the lines of authority within the Catholic Church, how they get their information they deal with. We've always said in an admiring way that the Jesuits form the greatest intelligence service in the world and always have." End quote. So this is coming from one of the most infamous CIA agents in American history. I have E. Howard Hunt's book, Undercover Memoirs of an American Secret Agent, uploaded on my archive.org page. I'll add the link here to this post. This comes from page 130, I believe, from the book. But E. Howard Hunt says when he was in Cuba, the most impressive agent he was in contact with in Cuba was the 27-year-old Dr. Manuel Artime, a Jesuit-trained psychiatrist. And this was Manuel Artime was the guy who the Jesuits and the CIA got to lead the botched Bay of Pigs mission. It was meant to fail the whole time to keep the Jesuit Fidel Castro in power. But so E. Howard Hunt says that the CIA has, so he's saying this he says we've. So when E. Howard Hunt's saying, and actually, you know what's interesting? The movie E. Howard Hunt is actually Tom Cruise's character in the Mission Impossible movies is based off of E. Howard Hunt. I just found that out recently. That's very interesting. But when E. Howard Hunt says we've always said an admiring way, he's talking about the CIA. We've always said an admiring way. So in other words, the CIA has always said that in an admiring way, the Jesuits form the greatest intelligence service in the world and always have. So, that's not a coincidence that after this Amazon gets into the $600 million deal with the CIA, they start dishing out millions to Jesuit colleges. Not a coincidence at all. And this was from May 21st, 2019. Or May 13th, 2019. And Jesuit Seattle University got an additional $3 million from Microsoft in 2019. Here's January 11th, 2019. This is from the Jesuit Seattle University website. This is a gift to support the new Center for, quote, Science and Innovation, Programming, and Ethics and Technology. Earlier this week, Jesuit Seattle University announced that Microsoft Corporation has made a $3 million gift to Seattle University's comprehensive capital campaign that is earmarked for the new Center for Science and Innovation and related academic programming dedicated to examining the ethical implications of artificial intelligence. You look at that. Of the $3 million, $2.5 million will go towards the construction of the Center in Innovation, CSI, which represents the future of STEM education at Jesuit Seattle University. An additional $500,000 will fund development of programming that explores the intersection of ethics and technology as it relates to AI, big data, facial recognition, and more. And actually, Microsoft, and I'll show you Apple after this. Microsoft and Apple are two of the biggest American companies that built up Jesuit China's current digital dictatorship, security apparatus with all the cameras and the AI technology. It was Jesuit trained Bill Clinton at Georgetown that gifted the Chinese top U.S. supercomputing technology in 1997, and then it was only in 2008 that China passed the U.S. for having the fastest supercomputer in the world. The Jesuit-educated Hunter Biden, Jesuit Volunteer Corps Hunter Biden, was on the board of the Chinese firm Bohai Harvest, which invests in artificial intelligence technology to further imprison and enslave Chinese citizens. Okay, but so this is a quote from the Jesuit. This president of Jesuit Seattle University, Stephen V. Sundberg, is one of the most powerful Jesuits in the United States. He says, quote, Seattle University is grateful for Microsoft's Jesuit Seattle University is grateful for Microsoft's generous gift. This gift will help us reimagine STEM education in a way that touches every student at the university and prepares them to meet future workforce and societal needs in the region and globally, said Stephen V. Sundberg, S.J. Quote, receiving such support from the region's largest technology employer and a leading corporate philanthropist affirms the high quality and future potential of the university's computer science and engineering program. It looks like the Microsoft, so Microsoft President Brad Smith says Microsoft is a longtime supporter of Jesuit Seattle University. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, wow. Microsoft is a longtime supporter of Jesuit Seattle University and its approach to educating the heart and mind. The future of technology will require developers to approach their work in a responsible way, and the Jesuits are known for challenging students to think responsibly for themselves and their community. Would you look at that? Imagine that. When really it says in the Jesuit oath in the Constitution that Jesuit novitiate is to become a soulless corpse and to be absolutely perfectly obedient and a slave to his Jesuit superiors. And that, I'll show you some quotes from Jesuit morality later throughout this article, because a lot of these philanthropists make quotes saying that the Jesuits had such a profound impact on my life, and I thank the Jesuits for who I am today. You see, the Microsoft gift marks a new chapter in its relationship with the university. The company has a long-sponsored senior computer science capstone projects going back to 2000 and currently includes more than 600 Jesuit Seattle U alumni in its workforce. You look at that. That's Microsoft. 600 Jesuit Seattle U alumni at Microsoft's workforce. So Jesuit Seattle University, just in 2 years, just in the same year, got $3 million from Microsoft and $3 million from Amazon. You look at that. And I showed you earlier, Bill Gates has been funding the Jesuit Cristo Rey schools through the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation since 2003. Bill Gates goes to Catholic Church, and Melinda is a devout papist. But I'll show you here the next article. So just going further more into the tech companies that I found. An Apple executive who went to Jesuit Boston College, the current chief financial officer at Apple, Phil Schiller, and his wife donated $25 million to Jesuit Boston College in November 5th, 2018. This is from the website Patch. You see here, Apple executive Phil Schiller and his wife donated $25 million to Jesuit Boston College to build a 150,000 square foot science institute slated for construction in 2019. The building will represent the largest single investment in the sciences at Boston College, Jesuit Boston College, according to a spokesman. Jesuit Boston College's new Institute for Integrated Science, which is set to create a, quote, multidisciplinary collaborative research process to address critical societal issues in the area of energy, health, and the environment, will be named in honor of Jesuit Boston College trustee Schiller and his wife, Kim Gassett Schiller, through a multi-year lead gift totaling $25 million, the university announced. And the Schiller Institute for Integrated Science and Society will cost roughly $150 million to finance. This is in 2018. Apple's CFO, Phil Schiller, who went to Jesuit Boston College, donated $25 million to the Jesuit school. There's Phil Schiller right here. He was senior vice president of, I guess he's president of marketing now at Apple. This guy was the financial officer there. He is a prominent figure in Apple's famed presentations and has been a member of the company's executive team since Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997. If you look at that. So he graduated from Jesuit Boston College in 1982. And it's pretty profound, all the donations that the Jesuits, and if I included Catholic schools, this list would go into the billions, probably the multi-billions. I saw Catholic Notre Dame University got I think it was $100 million last year. So this is an article from the Catholic News Service from 2010 titled, and I put this article on my archive.org page. I was going to see if anyone's in the chat here. Hey, how's it going, guys? Hey, good morning, Peretti. These honestly, these philanthropists don't realize how duped they are by the Jesuits. They're being completely used by them. They don't realize that they're being pawns on the board. This article is from the Catholic News Service from October 5th, 2010. You see here, Jesuit universities get millions in donations from alumni and others. This is from the Washington Catholic News Service. 2 Jesuit-run Catholic universities have received the largest philanthropic gifts in their history, while a third has been given $8 million by the owners of the New Orleans Saints football franchise. Georgetown University in Washington received an $87 million endowment to support medical research at its medical center, while businessman and Fordham University alumnus Mario J. Gabelli donated $25 million to the New York School to expand student scholarships and faculty chairs and to create a new Center for Global Investment Analysis. I'll show you this. Mario J. Gabelli has been donating millions to multiple Jesuit schools, not just Fordham. He's a prominent hedge fund manager. You see, the $8 million gift to Jesuit Loyola University in New Orleans came from the Gail and Tom Benson Charitable Foundation, runs by the New Orleans Saints owners, will be used to renovate a former library building to house the Tom Benson Jesuit Center and Chapel. Look at that. I'll show you. Tom Benson died in 2015, I believe, but his wife, Gail Benson, this year gave an additional, I think, $5 million to Jesuit High School in New Orleans. The Jesuit Georgetown Endowment originated in a $1.2 million charitable trust established by the will of the late Harry J. Toolman in 1965. And this Harry J. Toolman put in his will that he wanted his foundation money going to Jesuit Georgetown. This was this guy here. He was known as he was an American lawyer who wrote the flying machine patent application, which resulted in the patent granted to Dayton inventors Wilbur and Orville Wright. So it looks like this is the Harry Toolman who willed in his estate that he wanted the, unless it's like Harry Aubrey Toolman's Jr. But it looks like this is the guy who willed the estate to Jesuit Georgetown. Where's that article here? Or it's 1.2 million charitable trust. I'll show you. There's Georgetown University got an estate. That's further down in this article. You see the gift will fund the Warwick Evans and Mary Mason Washington Evans Medical Research Endowment in honor of Harry Toolman's grandparents. Warwick Evans was the first graduate of Georgetown School of Medicine in 1952 and went on to become a professor of anatomy there. Previously, the largest gift given to Jesuit Georgetown was $75 million. And I'll show you, Georgetown's been getting a ton of donations lately, tons. Previously, the largest gift to Jesuit Georgetown was a $75 million gift in 2008 from the estate of Robert J. McDevitt, a 1940 Georgetown graduate. So Georgetown literally got a full estate, $75 million estate from Robert J. McDevitt, a 1940 Georgetown graduate, which is being used to endow faculty positions across the university. You see here, Gabelli, a second-generation American and the first in his family to attend college, graduated summa cum laude in 1965 from Jesuit Fordham, Fordham College of Business Administration, which will be renamed the Gabelli School of Business. Gabelli is CEO of Gamco Investors, an asset management financial firm. So I'm just going down, reading at Loyola New Orleans, Jesuit Father Kevin Wilds, president, said the Benson Foundation gift will help, quote, to enhance Jesuit values of the university, end quote. And this article goes into some of the Tom Benson donations a bit more. The owner of the New Orleans Saints football team, Tom and Gail Benson. And Tom and Gail Benson were they were knighted as Pro Ecclesia A Pontifex in 2012, which is the highest knighthood that lay Catholics can receive. Here, Tom Benson, who attended Jesuit Loyola University and received an honorary degree in 1987, has been a longtime supporter of the university. Oh, you'll see he has been. In 1999, his gift of $500,000 funded the first phase of construction of the Gregory R. Chopin Chemistry Wing in Monroe Hall. And Tom Benson gave $2 million in 2008, which was used to create the Jesuit Social Research Institute and a fellowship honoring Jesuit Father James C. Carter. Benson has also been a major donor to the Shirley Landry Benson Pace Center, a program for all-inclusive care for the elderly operated by the Catholic Charities in New Orleans, and has been given a $14 million challenge to gift the capital campaign of the Oblate School of Theology in San Antonio. So Tom Benson alone gave out $35 million to the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. And I'll show you, Tom Benson has recently passed, but his wife Gail Benson, where was this here? And Tom and Gail Benson also own the NBA team, the New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, this is from February 23, 2019. So this is, again, Tom Benson has passed, and now Gail Benson is the sole owner. Headline, Saints Pelicans owner Gail Benson gifts Jesuit High School. The school says the donation will help improve the school's athletic facilities, and the Jesuits gym will be renamed the Gail and Tom Benson Arena. Look at that. So New Orleans Saints and Pelican owner Gail Benson is giving $5 million to Jesuit High School, the largest gift in the school's history. News outlets report that the gift was announced Thursday as a part of the school's, quote, Mind and Hearts Enlightened fundraising campaign. The school says the donation will help improve the school's athletic facilities, and the Jesuits gyms will be renamed the Gail and Tom Benson Arena. This is all over the place here. And, I was going to mention this. So I showed you how Jesuit Seattle University received $3 million from Amazon in 2019 after Amazon got into a $600 million deal with the Catholic Intelligence Agency, or CAT's Invisible Army, more commonly known as the Central Intelligence Agency. These year, after the CIA Catholics in Action got into a deal with Amazon, Amazon also donated $15 million to Catholic charities. You see, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos gives $15 million to Catholic charities December 5th, 2018. And the gifts were given to Catholic charities of the Archdiocese of New Orleans, Catholic charities of the Archdiocese of Miami, and Catholic Community Service of Western Washington. Now, if you can just go into sports here. I covered this at the end of the stream with George, but recently Georgetown University got $100 million from the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. You see Frank McCourt. I'll link the LA Times. Frank McCourt is currently on the board of directors at Jesuit Georgetown, as well. His ex-wife Jamie McCourt also went to Jesuit Georgetown as the current U.S. ambassador to France. But there's now the McCourt School of Public Policy at Jesuit Georgetown. McCourt used to own the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he sold the Dodgers for $2 billion when no MLB team in history even sold for $1 billion before Jesuit-trained Frank McCourt sold it for $2 billion. If you see here, Frank McCourt, who sold the Dodgers in 2013, the Los Angeles Dodgers, for a record $2.15 billion, has donated $100 million towards the school, Georgetown University, the Washington Post reported Wednesday. The donation is the largest in Georgetown history, the Post reported. McCourt graduated from Georgetown in 1975. He met his former wife, Jamie, at the school. His wife, here, this fine ESPN the magazine story has an amazing picture of the McCourts in that era, with the hair of that era. You see, but in this article shows how, like, if you read on the screen, McCourt's still making millions and millions of dollars from the Dodgers. Here, McCourt gets a $5.5 million annual management fee, and he gets a $7 million fee from the Dodgers from the stadium's parking lots. So this guy, this Jesuit-trained Frank McCourt, who's on the board at Jesuit Georgetown, gave $100 million to Jesuit Georgetown in 2013, and there's now the McCourt School of Public Policy at Jesuit Georgetown. And like, I'll stay on the big donations. Here's another big one here. This was 2017 from Jesuit Santa Clara University, received $100 million. So here, Santa Clara University received $100 million. Oh. Lagging a bit here. So Jesuit Santa Clara University receives $100 million from Sabratos for new STEM facility. I'll show you this. Let's look at John A. Sabrato is basically like a full-out lay Jesuit finance here. I'll show you this, but John A. Sabrato has his own silicon startup, and he gives millions and millions to Jesuit Santa Clara and Jesuit Bella Marine Prep and Jesuit University of San Francisco. But quoting from the San Jose Mercury News, I think this is January 21st, 2017, Jesuit Santa Clara University plans to build an ambitious new science, technology, and engineering and math hub, backed by a record $100 million gift from Susan and John A. Sabrato, an SCU alumnus and founder of one of Silicon Valley's largest commercial and development firms. So I'll show you this guy's wiki page here. This guy's a big donor to the Jesuits, like a big donor. John A. Sabrato. Yeah, so he's an American real estate developer, founder of the Cupertino, California-based Sabrato Organization, a Silicon Valley development firm specializing in commercial and residential real estate. I'll show you their website after this. He's been listed as one of the richest Americans for many years. He says net worth over here is $6.6 billion, according to Forbes in August 2019. You see here, Sabrato went to Jesuit Santa Clara University, and his Sabrato organization in 1979. So you see here, so Sobrato and his son have both signed on the Warren Buffett's giving pledge. I'll show you. Warren Buffett is doubtlessly going to the new Jesuit retreat house in Gretna, Nebraska, Cloisters on the Platte, a 936-acre massive Jesuit retreat house, which was completely financed by Jesuit-trained Joe Ricketts, the founder of TD Ameritrade. I'm going to get to that later in this video. But the Sobrato and his son have both signed on the Warren Buffett's giving pledge to donate their wealth for charitable purposes. By the close of charitable purposes, just reinvested all back into the Jesuit schools. By the close of 2014, the Sobrato Philanthropies, which encompass the Sobrato Family Foundation, Family Direct Giving, and corporate giving through the Sobrato organization, have given out more than $314 million in money and property. Major beneficiaries have included Santa Clara University, Jesuit. We just saw Sobrato High School and Jesuit Bellarmine College Prep. We look at that. In 2015, he and his wife, John Sobrato, offered the biggest ever individual pledge to the Jesuit University of San Francisco worth $15 million. I would show you this article, but I think I ran out of free journal reads on business journals. Here's the headline of this article here. The Jesuit University will name one of its best-known facilities the Sobrato Center. This is $15 million to Jesuit University of San Francisco. So this is the website for the Sobrato group here. So, quote, building a strong and vibrant Silicon Valley community. And guys, the Jesuit Santa Clara University advertised itself as the Jesuit University of Silicon Valley. So you see here, the Sobrato organization building a strong, vibrant Silicon Valley community through business and philanthropic leadership. Going back to the article here. The elegant new building, Jesuit Santa Clara, outfitted with state-of-the-art laboratories and equipment, could be a game changer for the private 165-year-old Jesuit university, whose reputation was built on the liberal arts, creating a rare opportunity to link fast-moving technical fields with the school's long-standing commitment to ethics. But there's a quote here from Sobrato. The valley has changed, said Sobrato, a graduate of Santa Clara University's class of 1960. It's all software and biosciences. The labs and teaching facilities on campus were not designed for today's need. So he has a quote about the Jesuits. Let me find that here. Oh yeah, so we think it's important, John Sobrato said, to give back to an institution that has helped frame our lives and taught us good Jesuit values, end quote. So this is a headline from 2017. Jesuit Santa Clara receives $100 million from Sobratos for new STEM facility. This was the same article here. Actually, this was 2016. This was Fordham University got another $20 million. And actually, I'll show you. I was gonna go, but where was this article here? This guy gave the $25 million to Fordham in 2000. Mario J. Gabelli gave $25 million to Fordham in 2010. I'll show you. This guy is very, very generous to the Jesuits. You see, he is founder, chairman of Gabelli Asset Management Company's Gamco Investors. This guy worth $1.1 billion as of 2011. Mario Gabelli is frequent commentator on CNBC, Bloomberg, and CNN. Has appeared 10 times on the Louis Resker's Wall Street. His articles go in the Business Week, Fortune, Forbes, Money and Changing Times. You see, Mario Gabelli has donated millions and millions. You see, so you gave $25 million to Jesuit Fordham, which I showed here. And then Fordham renamed their business school the Gabelli School of Business. Gabelli says, "My heart and soul is based on education and giving back to help the system," said Gabelli, who also contributes to Columbia Business School and Jesuit Boston College, amongst others. Again, so then in 2014, Mario Gabelli funded the Jesuit Fordham University's Gabelli PhD program, which will establish a doctoral level business program at Jesuit Fordham's Gabelli School of Business. Quote from the Jesuit Joseph McShane, S.J., "We are, of course, deeply pleased by Mario's latest gift," says Joseph McShane, S.J. Pleased for what it means for business education at Fordham, and pleased for the vote of confidence from a world-class investor. Mario's generous gift builds on his legacy and adds significantly to the Fordham School of Business intellectual capital. You see more millions going out from Mario Gabelli. In 2010, Jesuit Boston College announced Gabelli's $3 million gift that was used to endow a professorship in finance in the college's Carroll School of Management. Previously, Gabelli, who served on the Jesuit Boston College's Board of Trustees, gave $10 million to create the Gabelli Distinguished Presidential Scholars Fund, which provides 15 students with full tuition every year. In 2014, Boston College's Presidential Scholars Program was renamed the Gabelli Presidential Scholars Program. In 2015, Gabelli gave another gift to Jesuit Boston College. In December 2015, the Gabelli Foundation made a contribution to Jesuit Boston College to further the foundation's commitment to the Jesuit philosophy of enhancing the intellectual, spiritual, and physical aspects of the whole person. Gabelli commented on the gift, saying, "We believe the United States has flourished because of the rule of law, the free market system, and meritocracy. The underpinning of meritocracy is education. We believe for the great educational institutions to succeed, the institution needs facilities. Gabelli Hall facilitates students and financing. To this, we add the Jesuit philosophy of the whole person." That's one joke there. "Our recent gift was intended for the athletic department," end quote. So this guy's one of the Jesuits' main financiers on Wall Street. I'll show you a photo of him here. You can see here he's giving out millions and millions to the Jesuits. Literally millions and millions and millions. Numerous donations. Here's a Fordham article covering his initial $25 million donation to Fordham in 2010. As you know, I'll stay on some of the bigger donations. You see here that John A. Sabrato, Jesuit trained with the Sabrato organization, gave it was $100 million. So let's do another big one here. This was Jesuit St. Louis University, August 19th, 2018. Cinque Fields donate $50 million for Jesuit St. Louis University research, largest gift in school's history. Look at that. So you have $50 million donation to St. Louis University, the largest gift in the school's 200-year history. From St. Louis area philanthropists Rex and Jean Sinkefield will create a new fund to finance faculty research and hire new professors. The gift will establish the Jesuit St. Louis University Research Institute. Let me see here. You see the Sinequel's gift follows Jesuit St. Louis University's $99 million raise during the fiscal year. The president of Jesuit St. Louis University, Fred Costello, said, "We intend to do everything we can to make sure these dollars are spent wisely with the goal of making Jesuit St. Louis University an even more prominent research university nationally." End quote. I'll show you these philanthropists here. Rex Sickefeld gave the primary financier of this $50 million to Jesuit St. Louis in 2018. There is here American businessman, investor, philanthropist, who has been called, quote, an index fund pioneer. That comes from an interview. Meet one of the super PAC men for the Wall Street Journal. He's active in Missouri politics, his two main interests being rolling back the income tax and increasing public funding for charter schools, that would be Catholic schools. He went to Jesuit St. Louis University, Rex Sinkefield, and went to Rockefeller University of Chicago that has the Catholic Lumen Christi Institute there. Rex Sinkefield went to Catholic Bishop DeBerg High School, studied to be a Catholic priest at the Diocesan Seminary at Cardinal Glennon College. You look at that. Studied economics at Jesuit St. Louis University. Started it's called Dimensional Fund Advisors, was his company. He also co-founded the Show Me Institute, an American think tank in St. Louis that advocates, quote, free market principles, end quote. That's crony capitalism. Like the U.S. government gave out $230 billion last year to the biggest firms and defense contractors. And that's not just military contractors, because like McKesson Corporation, which has Jesuit trained John Hammergren as CEO at Jesuit Xavier, McKesson Corporation is like flooding America with dope and opium, and they're still getting billions from the U.S. government every year. It's a job well done, McKesson. You see Philanthropy. See, this guy's a big-time St. Louis area philanthropist. He's also he's a life trustee at Catholic DePaul University. Would you look at that? So the Sickefelds have given $50 million to Jesuit St. Louis. There's a photo of Rex Sickefeld right there and Jean Sickefeld. Let me see here. This was another $50 million donation last year, I think, or two years ago, July 20th, 2017. $50 million donation to Jesuit St. Joseph's marks largest in university history. This is from the Philly Voice. St. Joseph's University, Jesuit University in Philadelphia, announced Thursday the recipient of a $50 million gift from a distinguished alumnus and his wife, marking the single largest donation in the university's 166-year history. The gift comes from James J. McGuire and his wife, Frances, who together credited the university's Jesuit education as a transformational influence both academically and personally. St. Joseph's University is where my life changed, McGuire said in a statement. Early in my college career, I struggled academically, but it was the Jesuits who saw my potential and nurtured it, setting me on a path for success. I'd never forgotten that it was with St. Joseph's where people first believed in me, and I have lived my life professionally and personally embracing the values that are a foundation of Jesuit education. Jim McGuire spent the majority of his career in the insurance industry, forming the Philadelphia Insurance Company in the early 1980s, and later merging the business with Japan's Tokyo Marine Group in 2008. He and his wife now lead the McGuire Foundation, tax exempt, which provides funding for education in the arts and humanities, and also works to, quote, alleviate hunger and homelessness. And that's what the Jesuits do. So the Jesuits, they get subsidized by all these tax exempt philanthropy foundations. And here's a video that Jesuit St. Joseph's highlighted on this donation from insurance magnate James J. McGuire, giving $50 million to Jesuit St. Joseph's in 2017. I'm just gonna play a minute of this here.
History, there are key moments along the way, and this is a key moment for St. Joseph's University. I am humbled, honored, privileged to announce the largest single gift in institutional history, the $50 million commitment from Jim and Franny McGuire.
Oh, they got the corny music going in the back too. There's James McGuire there.
He and his wife Franny have been extraordinarily generous over the years.
Today, I bet they have.
Are the beneficiaries once again of their commitment to the institution.
$50 million.
Raises the level of expectation.
There's just an incredible amount of money that's being donated to Jesuit schools, like all over the place. And here's Donald Trump's sister. Like I've covered this, I think on an earlier show. If you're not aware, Donald Trump's sister, Marianne Trump Barry, pull this up here. This was covered by the Palm Beach Daily News, October 13th, 2016. This is Donald Trump's older sister, Marianne Barry, who was nominated as a senior judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit by Jesuit-trained Bill Clinton back in the 90s. We see here Donald Trump's sister gives $4 million to Jesuit Fairfield University. Eleanor Roy, Palm Beach Daily News. The part-time Palm Beacher Marianne Trump Bailey, a senior judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit and an older sister of Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, has given $4 million to Jesuit Fairfield University for scholarships and to endow the school's Center for Ignatian Spirituality. The Jesuit University, located in Fairfield, Connecticut, announced the donation last month and said the gift was made in honor of the Reverend Jeffrey P. Von Arx, the university president who is slated to leave at the end of this year. Quote, I am sad for this loss to Fairfield, Barry said in a release. And quote, I pray for the continuation of the Jesuit mission and the Jesuit identity, which Father Von Arx has not only preserved, but has so successfully championed over these 12 years. And these donations came out after like the pedophile scandal like came out at Fairfield, where Fairfield alumnus Douglas Perlitz was raping he raped like over 50 like little kids in Haiti under the supervision of his Jesuit superior, Father Paul Carrier, S.J. I think Douglas Perlitz is now in jail. That was the Mitchell Garabedian, the Spotlight lawyer, was the lawyer in that case. There was like a $72 million settlement with the pedophile Douglas Perlitz, Fairfield graduate, and his Jesuit Fairfield enablers, because Jesuit Fairfield University was running the charity that Douglas Perlitz was raping little kids at. But the money given to Jesuit Fairfield here from Barry Trump is after, this scandal with Fairfield University and Douglas Perlitz came out. Just wanted to mention that. Barry, 79, purchased a house on South Ocean Boulevard in 2004, probably close to Jeffrey Epstein's house, through a trust in her name, according to property records. She also has a home in Philadelphia. You see here, Barry, a Republican, was appointed to her post on the U.S. Court of Appeals in 1999 by Jesuit-trained Bill Clinton. Donald Trump's not going to go after the Clintons. Oh, it's funny. And you see, the Church Militant did the story. Church Militant quoted Barry and Trump, Donald Trump's older sister, saying that the Jesuits quite literally saved my life. End quote. Like, are you kidding me? So like when the donations, are profound that they're receiving. I had this one archived here. Here's another, Fairfield got another $10 million here. And where's this? 2000 and what year was this? I think this was 2015, Thursday, October 8th, 2015. This guy's a venture capitalist, William P. Egan, former Jesuit Fairfield University trustee, and his wife Jacqueline announced a $10 million gift to Fairfield on September 30th. And guys, when that last article, when Donald Trump, Jesuit-trained Donald Trump and Fordham's sister, Marianne Trump Berry, gave $4 million to Jesuit Fairfield, like Donald Trump was still running in the election. Like, talk about a conflict of interest. But here's William P. Egan, American venture capitalist, founder, general partner of Alta Communications, a venture capital firm, and Marion Equity Partners, a private equity firm, both based in Boston, Massachusetts. Here's a photo of him here, William P. Egan. I believe this guy went to Jesuit Fairfield, yep, and member of Ben's rugby team at Jesuit Fairfield, then went to the Wharton School at the Jesuit-controlled University of Pennsylvania. William P. Egan, long-standing member on the Jesuit Fairfield Board of Trustees. There's the Egan Chapel of St. Ignatius of Loyola at Jesuit Fairfield in honor of his parents. Look at that. And he's a trustee at the University of Pennsylvania. He's an owner of the Boston Celtics through his partnership of the Boston Basketball Partners, LLC. Would you look at that? That's interesting. He and his wife have donated large sums to Fairfield and divide their time between Jesuit Fairfield. And divide their time between Boston, Massachusetts, Newport, and Rhode Island. Egan and his wife are part owners of the Boston Celtics of the National Basketball Association through his partnership with Boston Basketball Partners. So you see here William P. Egan, American venture capitalist, trained by Jesuits at Fairfield, and he's been giving lots of money to Jesuit Fairfield University. Where was that article here? Pardon me, where I just had this up. Okay, here it is. former Jesuit Fairfield trustee William Egan and his wife announced a $10 million gift to Jesuit Fairfield on September 30th during a celebratory dinner to announce the formal launch of Fairfield Rising, the university's new capital campaign. The foundational gift will serve as a cornerstone of support for a new integrated nursing and health studies initiative at Jesuit Fairfield, which has one of the nation's most highly ranked nursing schools, as well as the long history of preparing men and women for careers in medicine and research. Let me see here. You see, Mr. Egan has made significant donations in the past. I think the Wikipedia article is quoting this. The proper education of our youth will mean the transformation of the whole world, said Jesuit Father von Arx. Would you look at that? So I recommend, all these articles I'm linking. You can, find these on the internet. So I'll link some of these in the description after this video. There's just so many posts. It would take me like 20 minutes to just put them all in the description. And I'm just going to go through more just Jesuit donations I found. Let me see here. Here's another $30 million was given to Jesuit Santa Clara in 2017. I already covered $100 million was given to Jesuit Santa Clara in 2017. This donation comes from the Thomas and Dorothy Levy Foundation. Jesuit Santa Clara University gets $30 million gift to build out STEM campus. Jesuit Santa Clara will receive and this is from the Mercury News. Santa Clara University received $30 million donation from the Thomas and Dorothy Levy Foundation to help build a new science, technology, engineering, and math center. The gift, second largest in the school's 166-year history, will deepen the school's connection to Silicon Valley, said Jim Lyons, who handles fundraising for the university. If you look at that, the donation comes 5 months after the university received a $100 million gift from Susan and John A. Sabarto to kickstart the STEM campus. Okay. We see here, as a Jesuit institution, Jacobs thinks his school is uniquely suited to explore, for instance, the ethical implications of storing and using massive amounts of data. Jesuit Santa Clara is the perfect place to bring those conversations to light, he said. Jesuit Fordham University has the annual International Cybersecurity Conference with the FBI at Jesuit Fordham. The FBI and Jesuit Fordham have that cybersecurity conference every single year. This is the foundation here. Really interesting. So this Thomas and Dorothy Levy Foundation, which gave $30 million to Jesuit Santa Clara. Some of the recipients of the foundation's gifts include Jesuit Santa Clara, Jesuit Loyola Marymount, Jesuit Georgetown. The fund donated $10 million to the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, Catholic Archdiocese of Los Angeles, to build a new cathedral to replace the Cathedral of St. Vibana. So it looks like that's sourced on the LA Times. So the Thomas and Dorothy Levy Foundation is also donating not just to Santa Clara. They gave $30 million to Santa Clara. They're also giving money to Loyola Marymount and Jesuit Georgetown and the Catholic Archdiocese. You see the Levy Center at Jesuit Georgetown, known as the Student Center, provides recreational and meeting places for students, faculty, and staff, as well as a 146-room hotel and conference center, the university bookstore, and the various eating facilities. Then there's the Levy School of Business at Jesuit Santa Clara and the Levy Activity Center at Jesuit Santa Clara. There's the Dorothy and Thomas Levy Commons on the Challen campus of Catholic Mount St. Mary's College. And this guy was the founder of Farmers Insurance. Thomas E. Levy. See, Thomas E. Levy, American businessman, executive rancher, philanthropist, born Ferndale, Humboldt County, California, to Irish immigrants. He attended Jesuit Santa Clara University, served briefly in the U.S. Army during the final months of World War I. In 1923, he received a bachelor's from Jesuit Georgetown University. So, the founder of Farmers Insurance, has 2 Jesuit degrees and donated millions and millions of dollars Jesuit schools and the Catholic Church to his tax-exempt foundation, the Thomas and Dorothy Levy Foundation. Thomas E. Levy, is a very interesting character. Founder of Farmers Insurance, gives millions and millions to the Jesuits. There's a photo of him here. Looks like I ran out of LA Times articles. Yeah, it looks like this LA Times article is where it talks about the donation to Georgetown and the LA Archdiocese. Probably gave millions to Georgetown as well. That's safe, safe to conclude. Thomas A. Levy there. Thomas E. Levy. I'm just going through more donations. There's so many donations. Let me see here. Here's Jesuit John Carroll University. Actually, so I'll just keep going through the list. Jesuit Canisius College in Buffalo landed a $5.1 million donation. This was, I believe this was 2010. Here's your Buffalo, New York. Canisius College announced the single largest donation in its 136-year history Monday. The local business executive Carlo Montate and his wife Carol Ann and the family are contributing $5.1 million for the planned interdisciplinary science center at Canisius, Jesuit Canisius. The college is purchasing the Blue Cross Blue Shield building adjacent to the campus for the new center. It will house the college's various science programs under one roof. Canisius President Father Vincent Cook said the timing is just right for an expansion of the college's science program. As Jesuit Father Vincent Cook, we hope to develop programs that will produce graduates positioned to contribute to the emerging life sciences economy here in Western New York, particularly at the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. Cal Montate, founder president of Uniland Development, sees his family donation as a quote investment. In 1964, the Canisius graduate says it put the college at the forefront when it comes to educating the next generation of students. And there's a quote from the philanthropist Montati. The Interdisciplinary Science Center is a very important piece in the mosaic that will have a profound effect on the entire college. It will allow the college to continue to attract the best and the brightest. And the total project cost total cost of the project is $45 million. Looks like this project was started in 2007. It'll take quite some time to build, I'm sure. Here's a photo of this Buffalo Catholic Jesuit-educated philanthropist here, founder of Uniland Development Company, Carl J. Montante, gave $5.1 million to Jesuit Canisius. Look at this. He serves on the Bishop's Council of the Laity. As you look at that. You see here, he serves on the Canisius High School. He served as chairman of the Catholic Health System, too. Jesuit Canisius College, Jesuit Canisius High School. This guy's super plugged in. And he went to Jesuit Canisius College and Canisius High School. Lifetime Achievement or Distinguished Service Award at Jesuit Canisius High School. Distinguished Alumni Award from Jesuit Canisius College. Yeah, so this guy's super plugged in. This founder of Uniland Development Company, Carl J. Montate. He gave $5.1 million to Jesuit Canisius. Here's another one from recent headline 2010, I believe. Jesuit Detroit Mercy receives largest ever donation to boost business college. This was this year, February 19th, 2019, Jesuit University of Detroit Mercy. It was the University graduate Arnold Jarboe donated $6.1 million to Jesuit Detroit Mercy through his estate. The donation will be used to establish new student offerings. Evan Peterson was selected as the first Arnold Jarboe Chair in Business Administration. Okay, I believe this guy was let me see here. I believe this guy was this guy worked in the Social Security Department in the United States government. This is another case of this guy willed his trust to give money to Jesuit Detroit Mercy. Where did it say that here? Yeah, so he spent his career as an attorney for the Social Security Administration. And here's a photo of him here. Arnold Jarboe, Social Security Administration attorney, willed $6.1 million to Jesuit University of Detroit Mercy in his estate, or in the will of his estate there. This is pretty profound. Here's Jesuit Gonzaga University receives $55 million in historic donation. October 16th, 2015. Your Jesuit Gonzaga receives $55 million in historic donation. You see, Jesuit Gonzaga University made a huge announcement Thursday. Myrtle Woldson donated more than $55 million, the largest gift in GU history. Woldson died in April 2014. She was an accomplished businesswoman, musician, and philanthropist. Although she didn't attend Gonzaga, yet she's still giving $55 million to Jesuit Gonzaga. Imagine that. Here's Myrtle Woldson here. Here's a Gonzaga magazine on her. She's a true friend of Jesuit Gonzaga University. Let's look at that. Daughter of a self-made industrialist and railroad contractor who helped build the Great Northern Railway. So she's a daughter of a robber baron. Look at that. you see, as well as her personal recognition that the kind of Jesuit and Catholic education she knows we are committed to providing is possible only through private support. Look at that. So Myrtle Woldson, an artist, philanthropist, performing arts philanthropist. You see your businesswoman. He's listed as a businesswoman, musician, and philanthropist. Gave $55 million to Jesuit Gonzaga in 2016. You see here, Woodson's $55 million gift is the largest in Jesuit Gonzaga's history and the second largest in the state's history. That's the state of Washington. You see here, the Jesuit president of Gonzaga, Thomas McCullough, said, the money will help make education more accessible and affordable. It can also be used to modernize science labs and the athletic facilities. Look at that. Like, there's an incredible amount of money. Actually, and he said $30 million of it will go towards designing and building the Myrtle Woldson Performing Arts Center. The building will include a 750-seat performance theater named for Father Bernard J. Coughlin, S.J., Chancellor of Gonzaga. Look at that. So like the donations probably go over $1 billion just to Jesuit schools that they've gotten in philanthropy since 2010. Pretty profound. Here's Jesuit Regis University from 2018. Regis Business College receives $10 million gift. Jesuit Regis graduate makes record gift to university. Look at that. Regis University Business Economics College will be known as the Anderson College of Business after a $10 million gift from a university alumnus. The University of Board trustees announced today. The gift here's Andy Anderson on the screen, president and CEO of Norson Inc., a construction service firm based in Minnesota, is the single largest gift ever given to the university. Anderson, a 1990 Regis business graduate, was inspired by Regis's mission to combine a comprehensive, integrative business education with strong focus on character and service. He says, quote, from Andy Anderson, I have relied heavily on my Jesuit education in my career, not only to help me make the right business decisions, but to also make the decisions that best serve the interests of my customers and my community. Here, Anderson earned his Bachelor of Science from Jesuit Regis, Colorado's Jesuit Catholic University. Here's a quote from Regis President Jesuit John P. Fitzgibbons. Quote, we are profoundly grateful and proud to have a successful Regis graduate make such a meaningful investment in the very place where his business career began. A signature gift like this shows the value of a Jesuit business education in the world today. I'm excited to see the positive change and impact future graduates of the Anderson College of Business will have in making our world a better place. There you go there. This is all over the place, like all over the place. This is it's overwhelming how much money the Jesuit schools are getting in philanthropy. If you want to check out, I did a post highlighting some great quotes from Theodore Greisinger's book, The History of the Jesuits from 1877. But if you go to, I titled it "Exposing the Repulsiveness of Jesuit Morality." Read some of these quotes from Jesuits, and you see all these businessmen are admiring Jesuits, and the Jesuits taught you it's literally okay to lie, cheat, steal, kill someone. You see right here, a Jesuit says that it's okay to not pay a hooker at all for if you want to do that. Let me see here. You read these quotes on the screen. You see this is from Theodore Greisinger. Not only in the case of the greatest need may a man steal, according to Jesuit views, but also when the object is to equalize the great contract between rich and poor, as indeed men were originally created equal with equal rights. Without this, however, one was justified in, quote, taking, when it was a question of paying oneself, while the right of secret compensation went for something with the sons of Loyola was to be understood. You see here, so according to the Jesuit father Xavier Fageli, is it indeed allowable to steal by compensation from one's master, but under the condition that one does not allow oneself to be caught in the act. So there you go. So there's Jesuit morality. It's not a crime if you don't get caught. Aren't these guys just such? Are they just godly men? Wow. And actually, there's a quote here where it says, which is interesting. Let me see here. So this is from the Jesuit Uverlis Morales. He says, "A son who has become intoxicated in his state has killed his father is not merely no criminal, but he may rejoice, indeed, at the circumstances of the murder which he has committed, if that a great fortune which he inherits is in question." Oh, look at that! So it's okay to murder your dad to get his large estate in his will. Really? So great job, Jesuits! Wow. You see all these businessmen are quoting Jesuit morality as the Jesuit morality has had a deep, everlasting impact on my life. You see here, so if a great fortune which he inherits in question is as large riches belong in every way to those things, much to be desired, especially when one understands how to make good use of them. Would you look at that? And actually, according to the Jesuit Anthony de Escobar, he says, when a needy person on account of sickness or lack of employment is not in a position to supply his wants by his own work, he has the right to abstract from the rich by secret or open force the superfluity of the latter. And then it's Anthony Escobar also, who I've already several times alluded, is of the same opinion that only he adds that the person robbed must necessarily be a rich man. And this is interesting because the Jesuits, it's no fun for the Jesuits to loot from poor people. That's why they go after all these rich philanthropists. That's where the money is. And the Jesuits know that. So the Jesuits want to steal as much as possible from the rich. Okay, so Anthony Escobar said, therefore, it is further stated, quote, this is from Jesuit Father Anthony Escobar, when thou findest a thief who has an intention to rob a needy person, thou must restrain from him from doing so, and point out to him another rich person whom he may plunder instead of the needy one. Would you look at that? This is Jesuit morality. This comes from Theodore Greisinger's book, Jesuits: A Complete History, from 1885, I believe. There it is there. I recommend you read that. So it's profound. I'm telling you, the amount of donations these Jesuit schools are getting is profound. Here's another $1.4 million given to Jesuit Regis in 2019. Texas couple $1.4 million gift to support Jesuit Regis University's athletics. Texas couples $1.4 million gift to support Jesuit Regis athletics. There's the headline there. Looks like the Dan and Annie Burse of Fort Worth, Texas, are Regis alumni. Dan serves on the board of trustees at Regis and has been an active volunteer leader at Jesuit Catholic University for many years. We are thrilled to be able to make this gift, especially since it will directly benefit students and student athletes, said Dan Burse. Dan Burse has served as the president and CEO of GM Financial in Fort Worth since 2005. Previously, he served as from 2003 to 2005 as the company's chief financial officer from 1990 to 2003. Let me see here. And here's a quote from the university president, Reverend John P. Fitzgibbons. I quoted him earlier in this video. We are tremendously grateful and proud that Dan and Annie have made this gift that supports our students and student athletes, said Jesuit Reverend John P. Fitzgibbons. Quote, their friendship and support for Regis University is truly making a difference today in the lives of our students. And with this new practice facility, the entire campus community will benefit from their generosity. Look at that. So it's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions is being sent to the Jesuit schools. Most of this is all post-2010. Here's an anonymous donor in 2019, February 20th. Jesuit John Carroll University receives $20 million in anonymous donation. Actually, I'll cover some of the anonymous donations because Jesuit Georgetown Prep School also recently got $20 million in an anonymous donation. And Jesuit Seattle University got $42 million in an anonymous donation. Here's February 20, 2019. A Jesuit John Carroll graduate donated a whopping $20 million to the university, according to a news release. The president, Michael Johnson, said the unrestricted donation is rare in higher education, and he plans on using it to fulfill the university's most immediate needs. We will use this pledge to fuel our academic programs, enrich our campus, and enhance the student experience as we continue to inspire the next generation of leaders, said Johnson. The 2019 Jesuit John Carroll receives $20 million. And actually, Jesuit John Carroll got another $10 million in May 2018. So your Jesuit John Carroll University announces $10 million donation to create Bowler College of Business. Look at that. University Heights, Ohio, Jesuit John Carroll University is using a $10 million donation from the Bowler family to transform the Bowler School of Business into a college, allowing the university to create new programs and hire new faculty. Officials say that change accommodates growth at the private Catholic university. And this comes from John Bowler. Let me see if John Bowler. Let's see if I can find info on what this guy does. John Bowler. So $30 million has been given to. Let me see here. Oh, it looks like he passed in 20. One of this came from his foundation. See, now there's the Bowler School of Business at John Carroll. I just want to see what this guy did. He's probably in the finance industry. All philanthropists are. Or the Bowler Company, one of the world's largest suppliers of truck suspensions and vital components to the transportation industry. Well, there you go there. Okay, you see here, $10 million to Jesuit John Carroll University. There's him and his wife. The Bowler legacy. Here's another Santa Clara University donation, May 2015, $25 million gift from Jeff and Karen Miller advances social entrepreneurship at Santa Clara University. This guy's a tech CEO. We see Silicon Valley entrepreneur and venture capitalist Jeff Miller, along with his philanthropic partner and wife Karen, have given Jesuit Santa Clara University $25 million to fuel its center dedicated to apply innovation and entrepreneurship approaches to address the needs of the global poor. What a joke. You see, Michael Eng, S.J., president of Santa Clara, says, "We're very grateful for the tremendous generosity of the Millers." Continuing quote from the Jesuit Michael Eng, S.J., "For years, they have given their time and resources to help us mentor and serve some of the world's brightest social entrepreneurs tackling humanity's most intractable problems. Their guidance and support for the Miller Center for Social Entrepreneurship are vital to Santa Clara's commitment to serving the poor." See, the $25 million gift is one of the largest ever to Jesuit Santa Clara University. Let me see. So I'll pull up some info on this Jeff Miller Silicon Valley guy, because this guy gave $25 million to Santa Clara. Looks like he's also is he on the Golden State? These guys associated with the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, he's he's an executive board member at the Golden State Warriors. Wow. The Golden State Warriors general manager Bob Myers went to Jesuit Loyola Marymount. Yeah, so Jeff Miller is on the executive board member at the Golden State Warriors. But you see here, he's the president of Jam Ventures, a business consulting company. New CEO of DocuTum Inc., a software company. You see here, he's connected with the Jesuit he's on the board of trustees at Jesuit Santa Clara, and he went to Jesuit Santa Clara for his degree. But you see, this guy's probably a billionaire. Silicon Valley's CEO, philanthropist Jeff Miller, now on the board of the Golden State Warriors, gave $25 million to Jesuit Santa Clara in May 2015. Here's another Jesuit donation recently. Jesuit Le Moyne College received $7 million in 2018, October 23, 2018. Jesuit Le Moyne College received $7 million gift from the McNeil family to establish risk management and insurance major. You see that a gift from one of Le Moyne's college's third-generation families, the McNeil family, will be used to launch a new undergraduate major in risk management and insurance. The $7 million gift announced at the college's Founders Day Gala, October 9th, will bring the college a new academic discipline in one of today's fastest-growing career fields. And here's the quote from Le Moyne president Linda Lemura, the McNeil family has been a part of this college literally since the first day we offered classes. They value the power of a Jesuit education to produce ethical, intellectually nimble graduates, particularly in today's ever-changing world, said Lemoyne President Linda Lemura. We are truly grateful for this generous gift, which is another example of the momentum evident on our campus in so many areas. He's here Daniel McNeil Jr., graduate of Jesuit Lemoyne 1951. He is the president of the McNeil Development Company in Cortland, New York, which owns and manages commercial property. And his son, Dan McNeil III, president of the McNeil Company in Cortland, a provider of insurance programs and risk management. And you see Dan Jr.'s daughter, Mary McNeil, got a degree from Jesuit Lemoyne in 2008 and serves as chief operating officer of McNeil and Company. So this McNeil and Company is completely controlled by Jesuit Lemoyne College. Here's a quote from the Jesuit Joe Marina, S.J. We look forward to working with the McNeil family to develop a program that will be on the cutting edge of the risk management and insurance industry, said the Jesuit Joe Marina, S.J. Quote, this gift will help us to continue to expand our academic offerings to best serve our students now and into the future. If you look at that. So like millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions are going into the Jesuit colleges from philanthropists. And it's Jesuit Lemoyne College, interestingly, has a program set up with Lockheed Martin. See, in 2019, Lockheed Martin got into a partnership with Jesuit Lemoyne College alongside the Syracuse Research Corporation. You see here, Syracuse Research Corporation, Inc., Lockheed Martin and Jesuit Lemoyne College have partnered to develop a certificate program in government systems management. If you look at that. And actually, in the same year, in 2012, Lockheed Martin got into a program with the Catholic University of America. Yeah, right here. See that right here. 2015, Lockheed Martin got into a partnership with Jesuit Georgetown University and the BSA Software Alliance to create artificial intelligence coding programs. And according to the business journals, an article titled "Santa Clara Gets Lockheed Gift," as of 2002, Lockheed Martin has given over $1.5 million to Jesuit Santa Clara. Would you look at that? And no wonder. And Paul Colonna, currently high up at Lockheed Martin, he's president, chief investment officer of Lockheed Martin Investment Management Company. Paul Colonna is a member of the Colonna Black nobility family. It's right in plain sight. And, in the book Hot Money in Politics, you can read on the screen 1987, there was a Jesuit priest that actually would launder cash directly from Lockheed Martin to the Japanese government. You can see that on the screen here. Okay, but I'm going to continue. There's more. I'm shocked I haven't gone through all these yet. So a former U.S. Representative, Frank Garani, gives $10 million to Jesuit St. Peter's University in New Jersey, September 18th, 2019. Your former U.S. Representative, St. Peter's University, former U.S. Representative Frank Garani is no stranger to the world of philanthropy. The 95-year-old has given tens of millions of dollars to various institutions of higher learning and organizations over the years. On Wednesday, his legacy of giving deepened when St. Peter's University announced it will rename its business school after the former congressman, thanks to a $10 million gift. The university said the donation will serve to transform and expand its business school, significantly bolster business programs, and establish new initiatives for the school. If you look at that. So the Jesuit St. Peter's University president, Eugene J. Cornacchia, said, quote, his character, contributions, integrity, and Jesuit ethos mirror the very spirit of the university. Future path for the Frank J. Garani School of Business will be inspired by Congressman Garani's lifelong entrepreneurial drive and commitment to social responsibility. What a joke. He previously established the Garani Institute of Government and Leadership at Jesuit St. Peter's University, which provides a nonpartisan forum for discussion of key policy issues. Here's this guy was a New Jersey congressman, I believe. He gave $10 million to Jesuit St. Peter's just last month, September 28th, not even a month ago. There he is here, American Democratic Party politician, United States House of Representatives. He was a member of the New Jersey's 4th District for looks like 14 years, from 1979 to 1993. And he gave $10 million to Jesuit St. Peter's University. Frank Joseph Garani. And actually, here's another donation I found to Jesuit Lemoyne College. This keeps on coming. Alumni couple makes $6.5 million gift to Jesuit Lemoyne. December 17th, 2015. Kathy Grace and John Purcell met in February 1964 outside the Jesuit Lemoyne College Library in Grewal Hall. Let me see here. What did these guys do? So the Purcell family, the Rochester couple has returned the couple with a $6.5 million gift, which the Syracuse College will use to expand programs and the renamed John and Kathy Purcell School of Professional Studies. Okay, so John Purcell was chairman CEO of the fiber optic network company FiberTech Networks, which merged with Boxborough, Massachusetts-based Light Tower Fiber Networks in a $1.9 billion cash deal. Jesuit Lemoyne College honored John Purcell in 2019 with the Frank Fernandez Business Leader of the Year Award. Kathy Purcell has a master's in public administration and healthcare management, works as a clinic administrator at the Kirch Development Service Center as part of the University of Rochester Medical System. She was a member of the Board of Regents at Jesuit Lemoyne from 2002 to 2009, and she received the Ignatian Award from Jesuit Lemoyne College. What do you think of that? Oh, and Kathy Purcell cites Jesuit Father Daniel Berrigan as a major influence. Would you look at that? Father Daniel Berrigan was Noam Chomsky's Jesuit. This is Noam Chomsky's Jesuit here. I believe Berrigan is also Martin Sheen's Jesuit. Berrigan, the Jesuit priest known for his anti-war activism, taught theology at Jesuit Lemoyne from 1957 to 1962. Their oldest son, TJ, graduated from Lemoyne in 1998. So this is all over the place. So the Purcell family here, Rochester-based philanthropist, $6.5 million to Lemoyne College. It's right in plain sight. John Purcell worked in the fiber optics industry. Kathy Purcell works at the Rochester Medical Center and was given the Ignatian Award as well in 2011. Let me see here. Covered that one. Here's another $10 million donation from St. Peter's University. This is from Jesuit St. Peter's from January 29th, 2019. Jesuit St. Peter's University celebrates $10 million donation. And this came from Joseph A. Panepito, acknowledges the crowd after it was announced at the St. Peter's University President's Reception, October 11th, 2018, that he has donated $10 million to the Jesuit school. Here's a photo of Joseph A. Panepito there donating $10 million to Jesuit Fairfield. St. Peter's University officials now have 10 million reasons to smile. The private Jersey City College announced that Jersey City developer Joseph Panepito has donated $10 million. He said Panepito is a member of the Board of Trustees, Chief Executive Officer of Jersey-based Panepito Properties. Quote from him here, therefore, by supporting St. Peter's, we are supporting the future growth of our community. Let's look at that. And then the Jesuit or President Eugene Caracha says, we are incredibly grateful for Joe for this extraordinary gift and for his confidence in St. Peter's ascent. Look at that. And here's this guy's Google page here. So he's the president of Panepito Global Partners. Gave $10 million to Jesuit St. Peter's. This guy here, so this guy's the owner of the Washington Wizards and the Washington Capitals NHL team and NBA team, Ted Leonis. Ted Leonis went to Jesuit Georgetown University. But here's an article here. Ted Leonis and family donate $1.5 million to Jesuit Georgetown for Venture Lab. This was 2018. Yeah, I don't have amount of reads on the Business Journal here. We see Georgetown University will use the gift to create a collaborative space for startups, university initiatives, and alumni entrepreneurs. You see Ted Leonis is the owner of the Washington Wizards and Washington Capitals, NBA and NHL franchises. He's here. I guess his company is Monumental Sports and Entertainment. Yeah, Ted Leonis gave $1.5 million to Jesuit Georgetown in 2018. He went to Jesuit Georgetown, is worth $1.1 billion. Let me see here. Here's another $50 million given to Jesuit Georgetown University in 2015. $50 million gift to Georgetown funds athletics leadership program facilities. $50 million gift to Jesuit Georgetown will support an innovative leadership program for the university's 750 student athletes and fund the completion of the sports field situated in the heart of the campus. If you look at that. The gift from Georgetown parents Susan and Peter and Susan Cooper of Newport Beach, California. It's one of the largest ever received by the university and the biggest gift to the athletic program. Knight of Malta Georgetown President John DeGoya said, Georgetown is deeply grateful to Peter and Sue for their commitment to our students and their ongoing dedications for the campus community. So $50 million sent to Jesuit Georgetown in 2015 by Peter and Susan Cooper. Here's an article here. Meet the Georgetown family who just donated $50 million to athletics. There's a photo of them there. This guy's probably a venture capitalist. And all the Coopers go to Jesuit Georgetown. Look at that. There's like 6 of them there. Susan, Peter Cooper, Newport. I don't know what this guy does. This guy's probably a philanthropist or an investor. But Peter and Susan Cooper donate $50 million to Jesuit Georgetown. Actually, another Georgetown one. I'm probably gonna wrap the video up here soon, just because I'm probably gonna have to do a part 2 of this video because there's so many donations given to Catholic schools. Here's Jesuit Loyola Marymount received $13 million for their School of Film and Television, September 6, 2017, given by the Walter Lantz Foundation. Walter Lantz was a Hollywood animator who now has a tax-exempt foundation. I believe he has passed. But Jesuit Loyola University Marymount receives $13 million from the Walter Lantz Foundation. Here's the article. The current president of Lebanon gave $22 million to Jesuit Georgetown in 2000. Actually, I'll mention this one here. The son of the oil titan Gordon Getty, or John Paul Getty. Apologies. Gordon Getty is the son. The oil titan was John Paul Getty from Getty Oil. But John Paul Getty's son, Gordon Getty, went to Jesuit University of San Francisco and gave them $15 million for a new honors college in 2017. You look at that right there. This is Gordon Getty. So your philanthropist Gordon Getty will give the University of San Francisco $15 million to establish a college for top students to study the arts, sciences, and humanities. The University of San Francisco announced Wednesday. Here's from quote from Paul Fitzgerald, S.J. Nearly half of Gordon's gift will go towards an endowment to fund scholarships for honor students, reflecting our mission to educate young people who lead with competence and compassion. You look at that. And you see here, Getty, an accomplished classical music composer, graduated from University of San Francisco in 1956, where he majored in English. Told the university that before choosing University of San Francisco, he asked his father, John Paul Getty, whether he should study oil and petroleum, the family business. Getty recalled that his father said, yes, if you want to, but liberal arts would do just as well. The main thing is to learn how to think. Gordon Getty said that's how he landed at Jesuit University of San Francisco. And, John Paul Getty's son, John Paul Getty Jr., also went to Jesuit University of San Francisco. But Gordon Getty from the Getty Oil Empire gave $15 million to Jesuit University of San Francisco in 2017. It probably does go over $1 billion with all these donations I've covered in this video. Here was, so Jesuit Georgetown University got $22 million from the Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri. Saad Hariri, $22 million gift. Would you look at that? So now there's the Rafiq B. Hariri building at the renamed McDonough School of Business at Jesuit Georgetown. So 2017, so Saad Hariri gave $22 million to Georgetown in 2009. This guy's the current Prime Minister of Lebanon. This guy's like a billionaire, I believe. He's current Prime Minister of Lebanon, Prime Minister. He was also Prime Minister as well from 2009 to 2011. Member of Parliament since 2005. He's the leader of the Future Movement Party. You see, he graduated in 1992 from McDonough School of School of Business at Jesuit Georgetown. You look at that. You see, he's the chairman of Omnia Holdings and a board member of Ogre International Enterprise de Travaux International. He's on the board of the Saudi investment bank, Saudi Research and Marketing Group, and the Lebanese television channel Future TV. I'm pretty sure this guy is a billionaire. Let me just see this here. And the current Prime Minister of Lebanon, Saad Hariri, gave $22 million to Jesuit Georgetown. His net worth is $1.5 billion. Right there, 1.5 billion. Let me see. There's more I'm not covering in here, but this video is going to go on for hours and hours. I'll just show you. This one is I'll cover these before I go. This one is just kind of funny because it's a smaller donation. The ExxonMobil, one of the biggest oil companies in the world, donated to Jesuit Spring Hill College, and the hypocrisy is just kind of incredible because Jesuit Pope Francis is launching his worldwide Save the Planet, bringing back that old Fatima superstition, but to save the planet with Greta Thunberg. We need to transition towards green energy, and publicly he's been shunning big oil companies. Yet at the same time, massive oil companies are donating to Jesuit colleges. Isn't that funny? So your Jesuit Spring Hill College in 2018 welcomed representatives from ExxonMobil as they presented a gift of nearly $27,000 on Monday as a part of the ExxonMobil's Foundation's educational matching gift program. Would you look at that? Here's a photo of Christopher Viscardi, SJ, with Vice President, Development and Alumni Relations, Mary McDonald, and Asset Manager of ExxonMobil, Patrick Gorman. You look at it right there. And the Jesuit father, Christopher Viscardi, said, "We are incredibly thankful to ExxonMobil's employees." Really? Like the Laudato Si encyclical is all about climate change. But you see, we're incredibly thankful for the massive, dirty oil company ExxonMobil's employees and their foundation for their generosity to Jesuit Spring Hill College. I bet you are. Matching gifts are a thoughtful and generous way to support your charity of choice, he added. If you look at that. General Electric, through their annual reports of donations over $10,000, General Electric donates around $3 million every year to Catholic institutions. Many Jesuit institutions are in this list here. I'll just scroll down. This is what GE gave away in 2017. So your Jesuit St. Louis High School is here. Jesuit Xavier University, Jesuit College of the Holy Cross, Jesuit Boston College, Jesuit Fairfield College Prep, Jesuit Fairfield. The current CEO and chairman of General Electric, John L. Flannery, went to Jesuit Fairfield. Jesuit Georgetown got money from General Electric. Jesuit Fordham got money from General Electric in 2017. Jesuit Boston College got money from Fordham. Got money from General Electric. Marquette University got money from General Electric. That's Marquette University's Jesuit. Jesuit St. Joseph's University got money from General Electric. Here's your Boys Town got like 50,000, I believe. Yeah, Father Flanagan's Boys Home, A.K. Boys Town, $47,000. You know, devout Catholic Jeffrey Immelt, who has the yeah. So Jeff Immelt was the CEO of General Electric before Jesuit-trained John L. Flannery took over. I'll just show you that here quick. And that's why you see the Fairfield University got like so much money from General Electric. John L. Flannery Wentworth. You see that works. You see here, John L. Flannery, he succeeded devout Catholic Jeffrey Immelt as the 11th CEO and 10th chairman of General Electric. When Immelt was fired, effective immediately. And the reason Immelt, devout Catholic Immelt, was fired is because, like, while he was traveling the world on his corporate jet, he would have an entire spare jet trail behind him just in case something went wrong. Like, I'm at this, you know, ran into the billions and billions and billions of dollars. So GE wants to know why former CEO, devout Catholic Jeff Immelt, traveled the world with the spare jet. But you know, let's see what Jeff Immelt. You know, he must be, you know, he must be really hurting after that scandal, right? Nope. You'll see. You watch this here. Jeffrey Immelt's currently on the board of governors at the Jesuit Boston College's Chief Executives Club. That scene right here is, as well as on the Boston College Chief Executive Club, is CEO and chairman of Raytheon, Thomas S. Kennedy, who sits on the President's National Security Telecommunications Advisory Committee and is a member of the Business Roundtable. That's Thomas A. Kennedy. Here's the Boston College Jesuit Chiefs Executives Club. You see, oh, there's Jeffrey Immelt, chairman, Athena Health. Would you look at? Oh, look at them. Would you look at that? You know, they always rebound pretty quick when you got the Jesuits behind you. But here's Thomas A. Kennedy, CEO of Raytheon. Here's the owner of the New England Patriots. The supposed Jewish Robert Kraft is on the board of governors at Jesuit Boston College CEOs Club. The CEOs Club at Jesuit Boston College. Robert Kraft, you know, kind of tied into the Epstein scandal down in Palm Beach as well. Hey, honestly, I think that's just all for this one, YouTube. But part 2 to this video. It's there's so many donations to cover. It's absolutely crazy. Let me see if there's any. Here's a transgender Jennifer Pritzker, a transgender billionaire in Chicago, donated $10 million to Loyola Chicago. You see Jennifer Pritzker, Loyola Chicago philanthropist, 2018, real estate developer, and her foundation plan to give $10 million to Jesuit Loyola University. Here's a quote from her: "My mother and I graduated from Loyola as an adult, as undergraduate students. She was a busy mom and I was in the military," Pritzker said in a statement. "We both respect Jesuit Loyola's mission to educate students of all backgrounds and ages. We both believe that education is the great equalizer in a democratic society." Pritzker, Jennifer Pritzker, who publicly identified as transgender in 2013, took a break from active duty guard in the Army to attend Jesuit Loyola and later joined the Illinois National Guard. Would you look at that? So Pritzker is a cousin to J.B. Pritzker, the billionaire Chicago investor who is running for Illinois governor as a Democrat. Would you look at that? Money always stays in the family. Always. Here's J.B. Pritzker here. American businessman. He won. He's currently serving as governor of Illinois. He's a private business owner based in Chicago, managing partner, co-founder of the Pritzker Group. And you switch Jennifer Pritzker, where it's got the Pritzker family you see here. Jennifer Pritzker, transgender billionaire, gave $10 million to the Jesuits. It's your J. Robert Pritzker, worth $3.2 billion. Supposedly comes from a Jewish family. And he attended, interesting, Milton Academy and Duke University in Northwestern. So this Pritzker family is interesting. It looks like it's a Jewish family, yet they subsidize the Jesuits with millions of dollars. Very interesting. And there was a couple. I'll just go here. I've got a few more of these out. I am going to do a part 2 to this video, though. So here's Jesuit Loyola of Maryland received a $5 million gift in 2018. November 1st, 2018, Jesuit Loyola University Maryland has received a donation to secure naming rights for its forthcoming Center for Innovation and Collaborative Learning. Mike Miguel and Constance Fernandez and the Fernandez Family Foundation gave the university $5 million to name the center, which will include classrooms, an idea lab, and expanded career center. You see Mike Fernandez, who gave $5 million to Jesuit Loyola New Orleans, is the CEO, founder, and chairman of MBF Healthcare Partners, and he's a member of the Loyola Board of Trustees. He delivered the Jesuit University's 2018 commencement address. And Fernandez said, "The Jesuit principles that are the foundation and formation of who I am today. I am inspired by the Jesuit ideal of living for and with others. I hope the future first-generation students at Loyola are inspired when they see an immigrant's name on the campus building and know that the impact they themselves can have on others in the future." Brian F. Lenan said, "This generous gift will truly make it possible for Loyola to inspire, demand, and continue to enhance the total education we deliver to each and every one of our students." What a joke. As you here's the article here from Georgetown Prep. I mentioned this. Georgetown Prep in 2016 got a $20 million anonymous gift. It was from the Georgetown Prep campus blog there. And here's Loyola University Maryland received another $5.2 million. You see, Loyola University Maryland received $5.2 million in January 2012 from Ed Hanway, a member of the university. I believe what this guy. Give me a second here. Ed Hanway, Loyola Maryland. Yes, yeah, so Ed Hanway in 2012 gave $5 million. I believe it was $5 million. $5.2 million to Jesuit Loyola Maryland. And Ed Hanway is the former chairman and CEO of the Cigna Corporation, and he now serves as the non-executive chairman of Marsh & McLennan Companies, Inc. Ed Hanway is the chairman of Faith in the Future, an independent foundation that provides strategic management and operational oversight of 17 Catholic schools and 4 schools of special education in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, and provides support services to all archdiocesan schools in the 5-county Philadelphia areas. Throughout his career, Hanway has been active in a wide range of issues and initiatives associated with children's health and international business. He served as he's the chairman of Loyola's Board of Trustees, and a gift to Loyola from Hanway and his wife Ellen created the Hanway Lecture in Global Studies at Jesuit Loyola, Loyola Maryland. This is all over the place here, guys. All over the place. Here recently in 2016, Jesuit Fordham University received $20 million from Maurice and Carolyn Dursey Cuniffe, PhD graduates of Jesuit Fordham University. Did you look at this? Let me see here. Interestingly, Carolyn Cuniffe is the vice president of Revlon and senior vice president of Cablevision. She currently sits on the university's board of trustees. I'm just going to see what this Maurice Cuniffe does here. The Cuniffes gave $20 million to Jesuit Fordham in 2016. Here's a Wall Street Journal article. Alumni couple gives $20 million to Fordham for financial aid. Look at that. Here it looks like he has his own honors page, Maurice J. Cuffney at Jesuit Fordham Prep. You see, where did this guy work? He worked he was chief engineer at the Sperry Gyroscope Company and a partner of the investment house of A.G. Becker. He was a consultant for the McKinsey & Company and served as chairman and CEO of Vista Capital Corporation. He owned the American Optical Corporation, a worldwide manufacturer of ophthalmic lenses, safety products, contact lenses, and specialty products for the U.S. government. That being the Vista Capital Corporation, where Maurice J. Cuniffe was CEO and chairman of. His wife is executive vice president at Cablevision. And the Cuniffes gave $20 million to Jesuit Fordham in 2016. Here's Jesuit Boston College. Oh, I have to cover this one before I go. This Jesuit Boston College and Boston College High School got $27 million from this donor in 2017. Okay, here's the article here. A grateful alum thanks his Jesuits. Cambridge native gives BC High total $27 million. The Cadogan Alumni Center at Boston College, named for Pat Cadogan, above right, will be dedicated in June. Below, rendering of Cadogan Hall, which will house a fine arts program and a gym to be built at Boston College, Jesuit Boston College High School. Let's look at that. Pat Padigan, this is from the Boston Globe. Pat Padigan, a Cambridge native and son of Irish immigrants, went from helping his father run an Inman Square bar to leading several high-tech companies in California, and he credits his Jesuit education at Boston College and Boston College High School for helping him succeed. Now Cadogan, 74, of Corona del Mar, California, is thanking both institutions in a big way by donating $15 million to Boston College for a new alumni center and $12 million to BC High, Jesuit BC High, for arts and recreation building. As you look at that. He said from 1960, he initially oversaw sales and marketing for the Electronic Engineering Company of California. Cadogan later served as chairman and CEO of several public companies, including Gateway Communications, Inc. and Linear Instruments Corp. He is the largest private real estate owner in Orange County, Monday's statement said. If you look at that. So this is Pat Cadogan, who donated $27 million to Jesuit Boston College and Boston College High School. I believe I had one up here for Xavier. Here's another $1 million from Jesuit Boston College to, quote, beautify the campus. Oh, wait, that was from the Gabelli Foundation. I covered Gabelli earlier in the video. I covered that donation. Okay, this was from Marquette. The founder of Trek Bicycles went to Jesuit Marquette, interestingly. Let me get the guy's name here. Founder of Trek Bicycles. Oh, I ran out of my business journal article. You see here, Burke Foundation gives $7 million to Jesuit Marquette. Just want to get the guy's name. Richard Burke. You see, Richard Burke, founder of the Trek Bicycle Corporation. His foundation gave $7 million to Jesuit Marquette in 2019. Yeah, August 20th, 2019, just like, a month and a half ago. And this is how I find a lot of these articles. I said millions donated to Xavier. You can. Let me see here. Xavier University unveils plan for $10 million Height Family Champion Center. Looks like that was probably donated from the Height family. Actually, I covered this. St. Francis Xavier Jesuit University here in Canada got $10 million from the Montreal Saputo family, who own the Saputo company. I believe it's a food company. Yeah, Saputo family runs an international dairy products company and is headquartered in Montreal. The Saputo family donated $10 million to Jesuit St. Francis Xavier. There's the brand there. The gift will create the Amelia and Lena Saputo Center for Healthy Living at Jesuit St. Francis Xavier. And I think this will be the last thing to wrap it up. I mentioned on the last team brief we did with Joe Ricketts, the founder of TD Ameritrade, who went to Jesuit Loyola, financed an entire Jesuit retreat house out of his own pocket in 2018. He's here. Joe Ricketts is his one son, Governor Pete Ricketts, is currently the governor of Nebraska since 2015. Pete Ricketts is a Knight of Columbus, Knight of the Holy Sepulchre, sits on the Archbishop's Committee for Development, and Pete Ricketts is on the board of directors at the Catholic Lumen Christi Institute at the University of Chicago. And Governor Pete's brother, Todd Ricketts, was chosen by Donald Trump, Jesuit-trained Donald Trump, to be Deputy Secretary of Commerce. Todd Ricketts was educated at Jesuit Loyola Chicago, but in 2017, Ricketts withdrew his nomination from consideration, citing the inability to divest his financial holdings to the satisfaction of the Office of Government Ethics. Nearly 9 years later, Ricketts was named the finance chairman of the Republican National Committee. That's Jesuit-trained Todd Ricketts, his current finance chairman for the RNC. You see your Joe Ricketts, who has a net worth of $2 billion, has recently taken some heat for racist Islamophobic emails being released, but what is not getting much attention is how Joe Ricketts, a graduate of Jesuit Creighton, in 2018 financed an entire Jesuit retreat house out of his own pocket. This is the founder of TD Ameritrade. The retreat house is called Cloisters on the Plot in Gretna, Nebraska. This is a 936-acre Jesuit retreat house that was gifted to them by Joe Ricketts. There's a photo of it there. Here, Cloisters on the Jesuits have 28 retreat centers throughout the United States. Ricketts says it's been a huge job. He said he really needed the contemplation and meditation. He wanted these facilities to last for hundreds of years. Would you look at that? Perhaps fewer know the story of Joe Ricketts to his relationship to silent retreats in the tradition of St. Ignatius Loyola. Would you look at that? And at Jesuit Creighton University, there is the Ricketts Center in Analytics and Data Science at Jesuit Creighton University. I just wanted to highlight the millions and millions of dollars that are going to Jesuit universities through philanthropy. The tax-exempt system. I recommend reading the book here, Church, Wealth, and Business Income by Martin A. Larson. Because you see, the Jesuits are they're a sacerdotal priesthood, which means that they're actually exempt from paying any income tax. So all Jesuit Jesuit facilities and Jesuit priests don't have to pay any tax. So all this money they get from philanthropies is tax exempt, which further allows the Jesuits to just amass their financial empire. Like there is a Jesuit, Chris Lowney, S.J., who was high up at J.P. Morgan Bank, for instance. An ordained Jesuit, literally was the head of the investment committee at J.P. Morgan. And he actually compared the Jesuits to J.P. Morgan in a book that he wrote. That being, what was it? Chris Lowney, S.J. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I think that's all for this one, YouTube. Peace and love, and Namnas. Income tax is a fiction. Yeah, well, the Jesuits created the whole system of legal fiction law with Sir Francis Bacon. Okay, and actually, the Jesuits created the English word insinuare, I-N-S-I-N-U-A-R-E. Insinuare was a word that the Jesuits created, which means to be legally deposited, into a legal system. Obsessed with their fiction, I'm showing how they control the world. That's not being obsessed with their fiction. And I've showed through previous videos how the Jesuits created the legal system. I was just at the federal courthouse in Cleveland, Ohio, and there were Roman fasces on both sides of the federal courthouse. There's Roman fasces on the inside of the U.S. House of Representatives. I'm very aware of the Jesuit legal system, legal fiction system. Very, very aware of it. Okay. I have videos in my back catalog exposing the entire legal fiction farce. Okay. But, I think that's all for this one, YouTube. Peace and love, and Namnas. See you on the next one.